All right, ready for your workout? Here we go. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do, and then John's gonna do it with you for the first few exercises. So the first one is going to be a couple planks and a mountain climber. You're going to start in plank. You can either be straight arms, or I recommend forearms. What I don't want to see is any sag, and then a lot of times what people do is try to put their butt up, but their belly still hangs. So you want to think of rounding through your whole back, pressing into your forearms so that you're not sagging through your shoulders, straightening the backs of your legs, and trying to draw your elbows and toes towards one another. And we'll do that same thing on your side. What I don't want to see is a collapse into your joints. Press into your elbow, lift through your underbody, round through your spine almost, C-curve around. And then mountain climbers, and I'll be more descriptive when John's doing it, are going to be really slow. So it's just simply rounding and drawing your knee up and then sending it back. Draw your knee up and send it back. But as you can see, I'm not sagging, I'm rounding. So eventually there's a bit of a bounce, but we're not doing that today. You're literally just rounding and rounding. We'll do those with John. So hop onto your mats, stack your feet. You can actually have your feet staggered one in front of the other as well for balance. You're on your elbow. Your elbow is more or less under your shoulder. It might be a little bit forward. You're holding this for 30 seconds. Go. And you can see that John is not sagging through his hips. He's pressing into his elbow. You're already 10 seconds in. Nice job. His feet staggered are helping him. If you're feeling like this is easy, you can actually stack your feet. Nice, 10 more seconds. Great job, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's gonna come down onto his hips. Nice, and take a break. 10 seconds, and you're gonna come onto your center plank. So you can either be straight arms or forearms. I recommend forearms, and go ahead, get started. Nice, beautiful. Pulling the belly up and in, pressing into your forearms, pressing into your elbows. Don't let your head hang. John's not doing that here, but a lot of people tend to do that. Great job, 15 more seconds. Looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees to the ground, give yourself 10 seconds rest, and start to prepare to go onto the other side of your body. And begin. 30 seconds. Here, you guys get it. So John has his feet stacked, but again, staggered if your balance is off. Pressing to your forearms. Gentle C-curve to your spine. Looking good. Yes, he's shaking. You probably can't see it on the camera. 10 more seconds, I think. I actually stopped looking at the clock, but hopefully you look good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Hopefully that was 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So you just did about a minute and a half of planking. And then your mountain climbers. So this is straight arms. Basically, it's a full plank position. Nice and rounded through your back. John, you can probably lower your bum just a little bit. Yes, perfect. And then draw your right knee towards your nose, round, 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 and send your foot back. Draw your left knee in and send your foot back. Nice, 6 times on each side, or 6 more on each side. I lied, I can't count. Now do 6 more on each side. 6, 6, nice rounded back. 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And theoretically, that should burn. You should be engaged throughout your belly the whole time, rounding through your back, pressing into your hands. If it didn't hurt, you probably weren't doing it well. All right, so now that you've just collapsed to the ground after your mountain climbers, we're going to work on your back body. So this is just a Superman, or a back lift, or a locust, or whatever you want to call it. So from here on your back, bring your feet as close together as you comfortably can. Put your arms out in front of you, and lift up as high as you can. Pause, and then lower. And you'll just do that 8 times. So it's a lift up, pause, lift, reach to your fingertips, reach through your toes, and then let go. And it's less about how high you can get and more about how long you can get as you come in and out of it. All right, so John's gonna do them with you. Lift up for 8, lift up for 7, Nice and slow, beautiful. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. All right, guys, we're up on our feet now. This has many names. Probably a single leg deadlift is my favorite, but also a dyno. And then we'll do a knee raise with it. So with your right arm and your right leg, you come down, your leg comes straight up from your hip, your hand comes towards the ground, come to stand up, bring your hand to your hip, and then bring your left elbow to your left knee. Again, right arm comes down to the ground, right leg extends, right hand to right hip, woo! Left elbow, left knee. It's not necessarily about speed as it is about balance, and it'll start to work the muscles in your base leg. All right, so here's John to do with you. 8 each side, starting with your right. Right hand, right foot, and then left elbow, right knee. Nice. 1, 2, 3, get that knee higher, don't round through your spine. 5, 4, 5, nice. 6, 7, 8, and then switching sides. Every side's gonna be different. You're either more or less stable on one versus the other. Nice, and the switch is hard, and it's all about that contralateral movement. So here, it's same arm, same leg, and then you come across your body, lifting up as high as you can, and try to not let your chest round to make your elbow and knee meet. So it's driving it high, balance, driving it high. Nice, I think he has 4 more. Beautiful. And you can see it's not the easiest thing in the world. It gets your brain having to work as well as your muscles. Nice. Well done. All right, so this one's super important for you guys. I'd like for you guys to be doing this one barefoot. All of the stuff can be done barefoot, but this one in particular, I want you to be barefoot doing it. You're going to lift your arms up over your head, engage through your belly, and come up onto your toes. Pause here for a count of 5, and then as slow as you can, lower right back down onto the ground. In sneakers, this is really, really easy because your sneakers provide you with support and balance. Barefoot, you have to work on your ankle stability, and it will start to get into your soleus and gastrocnemius muscles, your calf muscles. So arms up, lift up, engage through your whole body, and then slowly lower down. And you'll pause at the top for a count of 5. If that starts to get easy, when you're up here, you can then actually let go of one foot and lower down. But I think that that's probably for another week. All right, so here's John to do 8 with you. Arms up, engage to your belly. Come up onto your toes for 5, 2, 1, slowly lower down. 7 more times. Lift up and lower. 6 and lower. Notice the heels wobbling. Try to keep even in your feet. Try to keep even in your toes. Try to make it so that your heels are right behind your toes. And lower. I stopped counting because I was just directing, so hopefully John's counting. And lower. Beautiful.
3 more, I reckon.
3 more sounds good. About 8. So even if, you know, you're not perfect with me, that's fine. But about 8 heel raises with a good 5 seconds at the top balancing. And if this goes well this week, we can add on to this next week for sure. Cool. So we have 2 more exercises to go on each side. So it's actually 4 exercises total because you have 2 sides. They're all about glute and abduction. Theoretically, you're going to want to have something to support you. I'm just gonna put my hand on the ground because that's fine for me. But when John does it, he'll probably have his hand on a source of balance. What you're going to do is lift up one leg out at a perfect angle from your hip. So it's a 90-degree angle. And you're just going to pulse for 8 and 7 and so on. And you'll do that on both sides. Again, when John demos it, he'll probably have his hand on something. And then it's the same thing, only working on the back side of your body. So you'll have your hands probably on something, maybe a table or a chair, and you'll just simply lift up. And it's not about swinging it up. Keep your hips nice and in line with one another, square to the ground, and engage your bum to bring your heel up. So don't use any other muscle but your bum muscle. So it's contraction and release, contraction and release. You'll see some people do it like this. I don't care if you have your knee bent or not. I just want the motion to be driven by a contraction of your glute muscles rather than momentum of your leg. All right, so John's gonna do 8 on each side. Beautiful. And as you can see, he's using some support, and it just makes sense. It's just logical because it's not a big balance stretch yoga move as much as it's a small subtle movement in the outer hip abduction. Nice. And again, you're driving the motion with your butt muscles more or less. So he's not using much except for those back muscles to lift up. So it's contraction, contraction, contraction. Nice. And it burns. Nice. And you can see it's a nice straight line, keeping his hips square, so his right hip can even come down a little bit further. Yeah. And then it's just contraction through the butt muscle 8 times. And this subtle motion will do a lot. Yeah, good adjustment. And so try not to let your hips open as you do it. Try to keep your hips square to the ground, belly engaged, contract the butt muscle for the lift. And you'll notice a difference if you just swing your heel up towards the sky versus if you contract for the lift. You'll get a big difference in terms of the sensation, and it probably burns. Did it burn?
No, yeah.
And if it doesn't burn, let me know, because I can certainly add more to that for you next week. All right, cool. I think the last couple segments I've said it was your last one. It's not your last one. This is your last one. So you've warmed up, you've gotten your heart rate up, you've worked on your core, worked on your back, and you've worked on the back side of your legs. Now it's for your quads. Rather than having you squat, knowing that there's been some issues with knees, what I'm going to ask you guys to do, probably using some sorts of balance, is to lift your knee up hip height, engage your belly, straighten your leg, and then bend your knee. 8 times each side, pause in contraction. Contract, 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 and then release. 8 times. All right, here goes John. You'll see his knees nice and hip height, drives through his heel. His toes are pointed to the sky, and I think he has 5 more to go. Try not to lean back as much if you can. Yeah. Still pulling his belly in. His belly's going back, but try to keep your chest right above your hips. Nice. And then other side. Beautiful. 7 more. Driving through the heel, contracting at the top. Beautiful. Nice. And that's your workout of the day.